It's Nolan.
Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Yeah. Had to break away, I'm back home. I know the people miss a nigga, feel that shit in my bones, but fuck it. Life is a finite experience. Fine dining, refusing to take this time too serious. I was hustling delirious, niggas acting nefarious. Sweet them out, clean them out the inner circle. My journals is leaking out. I tell my truth on records. Do it myself, it ain't no co-defendants. Killing all these niggas, no mask, cause bitch, I'm photogenic. These my Chaucerisms, sharp as a prism. My bars like a prison, honor and wisdom, all that I'm drenched in. Phone calls talking about business, I'm optimistic, even though I gave my ass to kiss. I don't fuck with the system, I'm my own man. Run a program without the clock, confident. Anything your faves dropping, I could top. Now they label me a hater like I'm supposed to be heard. I wear my heart up on my sleeve like it's sewn in my shirt. You swear you're hot, but your flow is just burnt. They say my head getting big, I just told her it's girth, focused on work. If I thought about that criticism, I'd be on a different mission. I'm trying to find a definition of my premonitions. A crash course like collision, dog, I went the distance. My hood full of chicken spots, niggas keep the biscuits. They spilling tea up on a nigga, let it be hibiscus. That bullshit, I stay above it like a flying nimbus. Orion's image, I'm shining with higher limits. Competition coming my way, you know I am winning like the slang in London. I am in it, wrist cryogenic, that's frozen. Chosen by hoes that want my chiro in them. Role model, I'm rolling with models, y'all was printing. Load hollows for these fuck niggas y'all been sending. I pray to God I never had to hit that throttle with them. I want my cash multiplying, this is not addition.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well this weekend. In this video, we're going to be going over a couple of different subjects as it pertains to Kendrick Lamar. One of those subjects being the Timothy Chalamet video or short interview that came out. I didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday. We're also going to be talking about Glasses Malone coming out and saying that Kendrick Lamar is not a good kid, right? Basically saying he's a mean person and going into some of the history and the things that he knows about Kendrick from coming up and being around him over the years, some of the misconceptions that exist because of the music that he's put out and because of his, kind of, I wouldn't say soft-spoken, but more so just laid-back demeanor where he doesn't come across as aggressive. He doesn't come across as, one of these other artists that may have come from a rough background and they want to put that in front of you all the time. That's not the way he presents himself. So G Malone decided to do an interview on Bag Fuel and kind of go into a little bit of that. We're also going to be talking about this author. This is Trump's boy, right? An author that was promoted by Trump and endorsed by Trump by the name of Nick Adams. And he's come out on a whim and says that he is going to be boycotting Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show performance this Sunday. And the reason being is because somebody has resurfaced Kendrick's Glastonbury performance where he got on stage with the crown of thorns and he did that whole fight for women's rights. They judge you, they judge Christ. After the whole Roe v. Wade situation was overturned, which has been a subject of debate ever since, about women's rights, body autonomy, whether or not women should be able to terminate their pregnancies and things of that nature. Kendrick took that stand on stage and said that he supports women in their choices. And it's been going re-viral all over again. And this guy came out and said, he called it a, sacrilegious performance or some shit like that. We'll get into it. And then we're also going to get into Trump attending the game and some of the changes that have been made by the NFL to appease him this Sunday. So we're going to go over a little variety of things as it pertains to Kendrick and his Super Bowl performance coming up tomorrow. All right. So let's start from where do I want to start? Let me start with the Timothy Chalamet thing, and then we'll get to all the other bullshit. Let's just start on a positive note and get to the other shit. So that was a brief conversation between Kendrick Lamar and Timothy Chalamet. Riding in the G and X with Anita Baker in their tape deck. Well, they didn't have nothing playing in the tape deck, but you know. So of course, keeping the theme going with the whole GNX, the GNX album, this era that he's in, everything is still centered around the car. And I thought that was a pretty cool conversation. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved if it was longer. I don't know if they're on the way to a destination, and maybe this thing is gonna roll out a little bit further moving forward. I did expect a little bit more from it, but he did address a couple of things in that short window. In terms of the misconception about him as an artist, that he, you know, goes away and, you know, may take time off and not necessarily drop a whole slew of music for years at a time. But he says he's always working, he's always crafting, he's always staying dedicated to his art form, you know, but whether or not he actually likes the material that he puts together in the studio is a whole nother thing, right? And again, we're having a conversation here with an artist that really cares about the quality over quantity mantra in music. I know a lot of people have moved into the quantity over quality and feel like if I put out enough music, I'll have at least a bit of quality in there. I'll have big records. I'll have, you know, some things that people are going to have their favorites from, and are willing to live with that. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own thing. Of course, in the streaming era, it does benefit artists that can continue to release music, because that's how you make your money, or make a decent amount of money, at least for the label, you know, to try to recoup what they've invested into you. For independent artists, that's also how you keep yourself in front of the world, or smaller to medium artists that maybe have a big following but aren't on major labels. Keep yourself in front of the audience, you know, crafting up something every year, your periodical singles. Nothing wrong with any of that. All approaches are specific to each artist. But, you know, Kendrick has gotten flack from detractors and haters and people that don't necessarily identify with his strategic way of, you know, going about his career. They say, y'all champion this dude and he only comes out every 4 years. He takes 5 years off. Oh, he takes 2 to 3 years in between albums, right? And they say, y'all be going up for this dude and he don't even got the decency to be coming outside for y'all. All stupidity, all bullshit, all moot points. But at the end of the day, he just said it. I'm always working. I'm always keeping the pen moving. Now, it comes down to, do I actually like it, right? For those of y'all that have heard the numerous leaks of Kendrick Lamar's music over the past couple years, you would know that he's also an artist that may love the material that he makes, but maybe he's not in love with the track that he originally lays it upon. So he'll take the same song, or take portions of the same song, and he'll lay it down over 4 to 5 different beats, and it may, you know, continue to evolve over time. And again, in order for you to get to that final product, and typically, I gotta be honest, in most of the cases where I've heard those early leaked versions of stuff, especially the stuff that ended up on Mr. Morale, I've typically favored the final version that came out on the album. I know there's some people out there that say, oh, I like when he was on the Pharrell beat, or this and that. It just don't hit the same. So given that, I trust Homeboy judgment to go in there and take the time that he needs in order to get the music, in order to get all of the pieces together the way that they need to in order to get the best possible product, right? Because if he puts out something whack, or puts out something mediocre, or puts out something substandard based on his own standard, the people ain't going to do nothing but say he fell off. The people ain't going to do nothing but say, oh, he's on the decline now. What now? So why rush? He's already Super Bowl headliner. Why would I have to rush for you niggas anytime? Fuck y'all talking about. All right. So that's one portion of the conversation. As you can see, he also honed in on Man at the Garden. Seems to be one of his favorites off the album. He talked about it during the Apple Music interview with Ebro and Nadeska. He brought it up there. Talking to Timothy, he brought it up again. He says he means every single word on that song. So everything that you hear from him on that record, that is completely and wholly how he feels at this current time. I deserve it all. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not mad at. And of course, he says that he's in a position where he can write those affirmations, and he wants people to receive it. Those that can't communicate it to themselves, or those that wouldn't necessarily have those conversations with themselves, right? He could lay it down on the track and make it acceptable for them to recite that song while still having that conversation, subconsciously or not knowingly, because the record is playing and it kind of forces you to get into that mode. You know what I'm saying? So putting the medicine in the food type of thing. And of course, we know that's a fan favorite from the project anyway. That's definitely LeBron James' favorite song. That nigga been on that joint for a minute. We saw that nigga reciting that shit at his birthday. Seemed like he meant every motherfucking word on that motherfucker too. Shit, but off rip, that was one of my favorites from the project as well. So I totally understand. So yeah, I thought that was cool. But again, I would love to have seen and heard more of that conversation. It seems like there's a lot more to that conversation. Even when the early promo came out, they were in totally different, or at least it looked like they were in different outfits, but it could just be the color grading. But it looked like there was more to be seen or more to be said. I wonder why they only kept it to like under 4 minutes. Would have been nice to like see them get to a destination and transition the conversation to something else. But that's just me. That's just me as a fan. That's me as somebody that, I'm like, shit, if Kendrick gonna come outside, like, go all the way with it. And that's not on him, but just on production and everything. Like, go all the way with it. Like, go do a 2-part series or 3-part interview series if it's gonna be short like that. But we shall see, maybe. Okay, we're gonna move right on to the next thing, which is Glasses Malone Bagfield interview, where he talks about Kendrick not being a good kid. Y'all need to get that idea out y'all motherfucking head. And he said that Drake need not to be worried about coming to LA. Don't nobody want no problems with him. The only nigga that want to run a fade with him is Kendrick. Man, we ain't never gonna see that happen. But it's funny to think about. Because it's especially funny to think about when you look at that nigga's lawsuit and he talks about physical threats of violence and the wop being a signification of a physical threat and all this different type of shit. Totally bitch made, but whatever. We're going to get into G Malone.
Act you, baby.
Can Drake come out here and be comfortable?
Yeah, why the fuck nobody, it already happened to him. He fine.
What already happened to him?
He got whooped on, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's fine.
Okay.
Nobody want to kick Drake ass. Like, it's fucking Drake. Like, it's Drake. Nobody want to kick Drake ass. Drake ass? The only person want to kick Drake ass is Dot. Dot really want to kick his ass out of nothing. He ain't let it go, because that nigga don't let that go anyway. Kendrick for sure don't let nothing go. He hold on to shit. Shout out to the whole TD family. Them niggas hold on to everything. So if you say some shit, them niggas probably remember what you said to them in 4th grade.
Yo, he said we had a Goat Wilson.
Elliot Wilson, right?
Yeah.
And he said he went out to the shit, to the Not Like Us video shoot.
Yeah.
And he happened to be there. Nigga said, yo, did you speak to so-and-so before you came up? He was like, nah, I ain't speak to somebody. He went right on the set, and before Kendrick started his set, he said, you're a rat. And went back to, shook his hand and act like everything was good with stuff.
But I know. Just so you know, I know though. But I ain't gonna fuck up the homie shit, but I'm just letting you know. Shout out to Elliot, good. I heard Elliot tell a story, good. But like, no, it's like the cornerstone of gangbanging is street urban culture in general,
Respect.
but especially gangbanging is masculinity. At all means. That's what snitching is about. Snitching is about, we don't respect you because you wasn't accountable. Snitching ain't if you seen some
bitches ain't accountable.
50-year-old woman, some 50-year-old man raping some, or sexually assaulting some 14-year-old girl, nobody gonna call you a rat if you tell the police. Now, if you go to jail for your own case and then you tell later, you're a rat. But it's about two people committing a crime or two people that are criminals, and then to not be held accountable for your own crime, you inform on somebody else's crime. It all go back into accountability. So that's where gangbanging really teaches you man shit. Like, you gotta be accountable. If you say something fucked up, niggas want, like, yeah, I need to see it. Like, I need to see you. So that's where we clash with the internet. That's why it's hard for me to really feel like that in this space, because it's like this whole space is built off of men not being accountable. You know, if you say something raggedy, you want everybody to let it go and consider it content. Now, I'm not letting shit
I hate that shit.
Yeah, I'm not letting
Because,
shit
you know,
I hate that. I'm not on that content
That's
shit.
COE, content over everything. And I'm like, as a human, everything can't be content based on your life. You got to have some level of privacy, some level of respect for yourself. You can't just throw your kids in there for the firing squad, you know, for public consumption sometimes. And what you just said was really key. Just, it's content. Just let it go. No.
Me and my homies argue about that all the time, and I'm like, I can't. I'm way too much into hip hop and too much into being a man to be okay with saying something I don't mean, or saying something that I gotta mean, but then act like I didn't say it, or act like I'm not tripping. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say nothing on none of them cameras that I don't mean.
You've never been like that.
And if I really got a problem with you, I don't need to be saying it on camera anyway. I need to see you, and we need to address the problem.
As people who are not from the West Coast and seeing how the battle unfolded between Drake and Kendrick, something you said a few moments ago, like Dot want to whoop on Drake. The fact that you're able to say that, like, what is it that we don't understand that was brewing?
Oh, between them?
Yeah. Not like on some personal private shit, but like the mentality.
I mean, it's as private as it is public. It's
Because it seems like you knew it was coming.
Yeah, I told him first.
You told Drake?
No, I told Dot. I told Dot on a tour bus, I'm like, he's a different kind of guy. But I didn't know how to explain it because I wasn't savvy in hip hop at first. I was just a crip. They used to sell water and I could rap. Feel me? When I got more savvy into what hip hop was about and, you know, what marketing was about and what records was about, then I was able to articulate. I was informed enough to start articulating things that I felt or saw. If I couldn't see it at first, like when I first talked to Dot, I wouldn't say, oh, you know, I would have never called him out of his name. Like, you know, I would have never called Drake a bitch nigga because I knew he wasn't quite of the ilk. Like, you know what I mean? If you, like, even when shit was happening and you would hear stories of somebody, you know, somebody bullying him or Puff slapping on him or Tip kissing on him. Not like that. I would kind of be more like, why would y'all
You heard about that, right?
Tip doing what?
T.I. peed on him.
Tip man pissed on him. Or he was pissing next to him in the urinal and the piss got on him, dude drunk, but they said it was with intention. But
you never heard that?
Yeah, but this is my thing. When those moments when they were popping up and we in conversation hearing about them, I used to kind of be more upset at them. Like, why would y'all bully this man? You know what I mean? Like, that's not cool. Like, that's how I feel like Puff. Like, why would you do that to him? I mean, now Cole, shout out to Cole, because, you know, the homie told me he did his stuff. But I'm like, Drake is not that kind of guy that you know, we all knew he wasn't.
Get points off.
Somewhere along the line, he forgot he wasn't.
He went from Drake to Cole.
No, because I'm saying, because the same Puff did the same thing. I know.
Don't act like this is not public information. Niggas been talking about this. Stuff came back up during the last year. Like, SO, relax. He's not saying nothing that we don't already know about, homie. Come on.
No, I know. That's my point.
A lot of people don't talk about the Cole and Puff story. They keep it, especially on the East Coast.
I was upset, and Brody did his stuff, so I got respect for that. But I used to be kind of upset when they would do that to Drake, because I'm like, bro, y'all know he not on that type of program. Now, somewhere along the line, he convinced himself.
You got with tough niggas. Ain't that? I already know where you're going. Ain't that what happens?
What's that? No, you know what he did? No, you guessed this. You know what he did? He gangbanged.
He got with some tough niggas.
That's gangbanging.
He started banging. He started banging.
No.
He started banging.
No, because we'll call you a mark. We'll call you a mark. Like, if you a nigga that's tough with just us, you's a bitch.
All right, when he got money and he got with tough niggas and he thought he was tough. Doesn't that occur? Does that or does that not
Yeah,
occur?
It does
it's
occur.
very empowering.
Thank you.
It's very crippling.
And niggas you that you know is tough, that they get money off you, that they might handle a nigga for you.
For sure. But even in his situation, I say that point to say that I never liked that. So it was never like a negative thing towards him. Like, I don't dislike him, but to your original point, it's like, one thing people in LA can smell and will press the line on is if what you're doing is cap. Like, we are notoriously fucked up at making sure people know your ass is cap. It's like something that just breed in us. Like, if you see somebody coming up, if you see a rapper coming up, they're gonna tell you about this nigga. Hip hop, I actually think hip hop is like that. For sure, niggas, especially in New York and LA, we for sure gonna air your ass out. If you had a job doing some bullshit at first, we telling on you.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that niggas did
It's
this.
the nigga news.
Yeah.
It's the nigga news.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
he ain't all that.
That was gonna happen to me with Dot, because everybody think Dot is this good kid. Everybody think Kendrick is this good kid in the Mad City. This nigga is not that good of a kid.
He's a menace. He's like Usher, he's a menace.
He's mean, yo, by what he's done, you can tell he's mean,
He's
bro.
a mean
He's
person,
vicious.
Bro. And he's my guy.
Yo, the nigga Top Dog, I met Top before. Top is mean. Them niggas aura, didn't I just tell that when it came out? I said, them niggas aura is mean, nigga.
And there's a confusion because the title of that album, but I don't think people was listening to the material. And I'm like, listen to the shit. This nigga is funny. He got 1,000 jokes. He not some nigga that
he's witty. He can snap.
There's a weird rhetoric that this is some kind of cool guy. This nigga working on himself. This is not good. Cuz is like a raggedy, like Dot is some shit. I mean, he gonna clown you all day. I didn't have to stop this nigga from fighting on tour buses. All kind of crazy. He is not. He's giving off what he wants to be. He's setting a goal, reaching his goal, and inspiring kids to be better humans. But
he's
that's
mean,
because,
bro.
Yeah,
I said on camera, I said, if I was niggas, I would stop fucking with this nigga. Yeah. Because this nigga is mean, bro.
Or you got,
and he's calculated.
Or you got to get up.
Now, I do want to just jump in here because I feel like this mean narrative thing gotta kind of be, it has to be reeled in a little bit, right? Now, when you say Kendrick is mean or Top Dog is mean or the people over there are quote unquote mean, you know, I just think the word mean in casual conversation, it kind of takes you back to like schoolyard, like you're mean, you're a meanie. And that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people who ain't here to play with you, right? And I think those are two very different connotations. A mean person is like a bully. Like, oh, you're mean, you're a bully. We ain't talking about them type of people, at least to my knowledge. But we are talking about people who are on a mission. And if you impede on that mission and or vision, you will be removed from the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, not here to bother you. We here to do what we got going on. We gonna have fun. We gonna joke. We gonna eat. We gonna hang out with our folks. You know what I'm saying? We gonna meet some people along the way. We gonna, you know what I'm saying, check the temperature on them, see what they on before they, you know, get to the circle. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of a radar of people that's gonna be seeing what's going on with you. You acting funny, you acting weird. But to come on and just be like, this nigga's a mean person, a mean-spirited individual, I think that's a huge exaggeration. And I think, you know, I don't think that Glasses Malone is trying to necessarily push that line. SO is kind of taking it there, but I think what Glasses is doing is just trying to let people know that Kendrick is not some pushover kid. Like he was just like a nigga living in Compton that grew up getting smacked in the back of his head and then came into the industry, right? He's trying to let it be known that he comes from the same shit that all these other niggas come from, the same Compton that all these niggas come from, the same shit going on outside, the same group of friends, you know what I'm saying? The same high school kids that was going, I mean, he rapped about it on his album, doing home invasions, fighting with niggas, getting into it. Kendrick from the jump has always alluded to walking somebody down and, you know, giving us the thought that he may have or may have not, you know, let that hammer fly on somebody when he was 16, right? So again, I don't think he's necessarily just some aggressive human being just looking for somebody to prey on, but more so like, okay, you pressing it because he's in the industry and he's got this specific image that we know him by for the public, but you're gonna fuck around and find out. And I think this past year with Drake, he fucked around and he found out, along with the rest of us, that this ain't the nigga you want to play with. He's given us glimpses of that with the BET freestyle. You know what I'm saying? He's given us glimpses of that on numerous songs where he made references and you know, him and Drake was doing they back and forth, talking to each other on records, but it wasn't necessarily for the public to like really think it was a battle, but we knew what it was, especially those of us that actually listen to lyrics. But it all came to a head and he had to show niggas, hey, if you really want to take it to the paint, I'm gonna go there, because this rap shit is just this rap shit. I'm gonna violate you in every way if that's how you want to play with this rap shit. Because if you want to take it to something beyond that, you know what I'm saying, on a man-to-man level, I don't feel like you could get down with me anyway. So you might want to just keep it rap, but also have some class and decorum about how you deal with me on wax, because it could get ugly either way. And that's what we saw play out. And I believe that Glasses is trying to drive that point home, but I also feel like this conversation kind of navigates it in a way that's like different.
Supported by other mean niggas who he just exposed us and said none of them niggas forget nothing.
Yeah, they don't. No.
So now you got...
Because y'all got this thing in Cali where y'all be just disrespectful with shit. Like when you work with Q and them niggas, they be just disrespectful on some shit, but it don't be with malicious intent.
I don't know if it's really disrespect. No, because I ain't gonna say that, because I'm not. No, because I ain't gonna say that, but like
they're extra truthful. Like if you got,
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I go through the same thing. Like I go through that all the
just
time.
said that. They're gonna expose the cap.
We're going to say what it is. That is something, and New York is like that. Not
New York
as
is
bad
like
as
that
LA,
too.
but y'all are pretty bad. Yeah, but y'all are really bad.
Yeah.
But we're probably the worst. That's fair. But
like if a nigga got one leg, y'all are cracking on his leg.
Right off the rip. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know why they thought this was gonna work out with this nigga, man. This nigga, like, all that good kid shit, this nigga
You know
is
what
not
it
a
is,
good
though?
kid, V.
Nobody
Not a
really
good kid.
knows his affiliation.
And that's what I'm saying, but he does it in so many weird ways, right?
yes.
Where you listen to Humble, which is the #1 song on the record, and he's really saying some Pyru shit on the record.
But
You
we
know
don't know that.
where he's saying, AM to the PM, PM to the AM funk. P-funk is a Pyru word. You're missing it. This is street urban culture, so he's popping it to the niggas that know. So, but then the average person, like, and I think that was, you know, Cuz' mistake too with Drake, where it's like, he's like, oh, he's like me. No, Cuz is not like you, my boy.
And that not
different.
like us.
Yeah, you are not like this nigga. It's different. You know what I mean? And the battle showed you, even Cuz, and look at their energies after. Like, Cuz, this nigga ain't did one vocal interview.
None.
Like, this shit is nothing. Look at Cuz.
Now, to be clear, this was filmed before the Super Bowl interviews have come out. So I know folks are gonna be in the comments correcting them. This happened before. All right, it just happened to be released in the midst of all of this.
The videos.
Come on, Kendrick,
He's
you
moving
gotta sit down
around
with us, B.
nonchalant. He's moving around nonchalant. Like, look at it. It's like he don't even care. Because he don't even care that he just ruined this man like that. Because he's like, oh, this nigga had it coming. And that's how we be feeling.
When the video came out, I'll say, yo, S, his wife is dancing in the video.
Oh, what do you
I said it's a wrap.
Yeah.
I said when you got the wife dancing, and I don't want to say what type of dance because that's not my world to say that. I said
dancing like the culture. But again, it's one of them things where it's like, so like to your original point, like if he came, nobody would want to, like, we just gonna make fun of you. If niggas see you on the street, you be like, you not like us, bitch ass nigga. Like, that's all you gonna get. Nobody finna rush cuz. Now, if he acts stupid, they be shipping cuz back to
over under. Let's take a Vegas bet because Esso brought up something. He said because Kendrick is so vicious and so mean and he wants to bury the nail, he said, don't be fooled if Kendrick doesn't drop an album during the Super Bowl or after. Do you think that's on the way, knowing what you know?
You know what's funny? I don't even know. When I'm talking to, we don't talk about no music like that. Like, I'm talking about minds, or he might tell me something, but...
But just because...
I'm telling you one thing, it ain't cool, and it ain't gonna never be cool. Like,
okay.
It ain't none of that.
Wow.
Because
everybody says that.
Yeah, because ain't nobody giving... Like, you hope for the best,
yeah, we all do.
At the end of the day...
Kendrick that mean, because everybody
he ain't
knows
gonna let it go.
Like, everybody that knows this nigga say it ain't never gonna happen, ever, never, ever.
Because whatever... See, there's this rhetoric he took him on tour, right? And it's true. He's not the first person to give me love on the tour. Game took him on tour. Tech Nine took him on tour. Took us all on tour. How did you treat him on tour? Did you embrace him? Did you fellowship? Did you family with him? Just because you can't give everybody a crumb and they gonna thank
fellowshipping and y'all niggas is important. Got the fellowship with these niggas.
And again, you see Esso. I used to really rock with Esso. I ain't got nothing against him, but his style has changed a little bit to me. But anyway, he says you got the fellowship with these niggas is something that's very important. I think fellowship is important with anybody, especially if you come from our culture, you know what I'm saying, where, honor, respect, and things of that nature are at the forefront. And when I say our culture, I'm not talking about no gang shit. That's not my background. That's not where I come from. But in terms of when you are building relationships with people, fellowship is at the core of that. Like, what you expect, like what you into, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? How can we form a bond? You have to have some commonalities between y'all, which means you got to spend time together. You got to be able to break bread, whatever figurative bread we're talking about. And that's how you go through things with people to see what type of cloth they cut from, to see if you really want to surround yourself with them types of people. You know what I'm saying? And if not, you'll go your separate ways and it won't be no thing. But again, I just feel like Glass and Malone was trying to convey one thing, but then the extra input from the other guys kind of redirected the conversation to somewhere else at times. All right. But salute to Glass and Malone. And I fully believe that he ain't lying when he say Kendrick is not necessarily a good kid. I think he was like any other mischievous youth. You know what I'm saying? He had his moments because he excelled in school. But then he also had his moments where you get outside and you can't be acting like no square. You know what I mean? There's duality in that. Life is composed of duality. So there's that. Moving forward, we're gonna get into this whole so-called boycott that's being leveraged by this guy, Nick Adams, who is, he's like a best-selling author, but he is strongly endorsed by Trump. And he's trying to get people to support him on this boycott against Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. So let's get into that. So here we have Nick Adams NUSA on Twitter. He comes out and he says, disgusting. Kendrick Lamar mocks Jesus Christ by wearing a crown of thorns while performing a satanic rap in support of abortion. He says, I will be boycotting Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show performance tomorrow. Who's with me? Now, this page has been up for a little minute, but let me see how much support he's been getting off this thing. So at the time of recording, he's currently got over 250,000 views on this post. And imaginably so, he's got a lot of conservatives in the comments that are saying that they're going to join him in said boycott or protest of the performance. Now, again, someone might ask, who is this motherfucker again? Well, his name is Nick Adams, okay? And off rip, as you can see on his website, he's Australian by birth, American by choice. I don't even understand how this motherfucker support Trump, because Trump trying to get rid of your birthright citizenship, sir. You fucking clown. But anyway, here's a little blurb about who he is. He's an American entrepreneur, cultural thought leader, as he claims, presidential appointee, and best-selling author. He's been a prominent and outspoken critic of illegal immigration. You shouldn't even be talking about immigration. Discriminatory practices under the guise of critical race theory, which of course, that's typically Black history taught in schools. He's against that. A leading voice against the perils of radical feminism. So he's against feminism, which basically means he's against women in so many ways. And they say he's a champion of American exceptionalism. I don't even know what the fuck exceptionalism is, but it puts me in the mind frame of elitism. Okay, which, as a motherfucker not from here, I don't see how you could ever be into American exceptionalism. They say he's an Australian immigrant and naturalized American citizen. Again, growing up in the Sydney area, he often remembers what his parents told him after he overcame stage 4 childhood cancer, given just a 5% shot at survival. I won't say anything about that. This advice that he says, if there's a 5% chance that anything, go after it, set the course of his life. He was elected to public office at the age of 19, became the youngest deputy mayor in Australian history in Sydney at 21, go back home, and went on to complete undergraduate and postgraduate degrees at the University of Sydney, one of the most elite academic institutions in the world, as if we give a fuck. But anyway, that's who this guy is. And again, his identity is pretty much wrapped in his connection to Trump. Even on his Twitter page, this is what you see when you go to this guy. President Trump's favorite author. Alpha male, best-selling author endorsed by President Trump. Founder and CEO, presidential appointee. So, as you can see, I don't even know if this nigga's tight with 47. But whatever endorsement that he's received from him, it's ingrained into his DNA. He doesn't have too much else going on outside of being on that man's testicles. Okay? Even here, his pinned tweet. Trump just reposted my latest article. This is from December 18th. Still hanging from that man's genitalia. Okay? So this is the man that's trying to create some sort of boycott against Kendrick's performance on Sunday, tomorrow. And of course, the so-called satanic rap that he's referencing, once again, I said it at the top of the video. That's when Kendrick was on stage saying, fight for women's rights. They judge you, they judge Christ or whatever, where he was, speaking out against the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade against women and their right to choose how they would like to, go forward with pregnancy and things of that nature. And they call it a satanic performance. It's so crazy how these conservatives, they don't even, their life don't even be nowhere geared toward God. They don't do nothing to please God. Just their existence is unsightly to God. But these motherfuckers be the main ones that be trying to condemn somebody for some bullshit. Shit crazy, man. Sir Nick, you are not significant. You're lucky that somebody such as myself would even talk about you, right? Because you got Trump's support with your little books and shit. That motherfucker can't even hardly read. You get an endorsement from a motherfucker who barely literate in this bitch, man. But go off. Talking about something. Who's with me? You by yourself, homie. And the more you clowns that want to take that stand, the more of us that's gonna tune in with your bitch ass. And that's me saying it. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? That's something I'm gonna have to start really honing in on. This is my opinion on this channel. Okay. And then I saw something in the comments to where a creator that I respect, but I had to stop watching, by the name of Ruslan, who also used to be like a good rapper in the Christian rap field, fellowshipped with many artists, helped artists kind of figure out their entrepreneurial business stuff within Christian rap. But with his YouTube channel, he tends to take secular rap and try to dissect it and transform it into like an abomination by God, which I understand from a biblical standpoint. Hip hop can come across that way. But if you're partaking in rap, because rap itself does not have roots in Christianity, rap itself does not have roots in the church. And you can say, well, music has roots in the church. Yeah, that's true. But rap itself, I would argue, doesn't. Especially not rap as we know it in the 2000s, right? And if you rapped from the year 2000 to 2019, where did you learn it from? You learned it from secular hip hop. So I do feel like sometimes people tend to overly or overtly criticize. And he did the same when it came to Kendrick's Reincarnated. And they used this as, I guess, another reason to further boycott Kendrick in the comments.
I have no problem with saying Kendrick is lost. I have no problem with saying Kendrick needs Jesus. I have no problem with saying pray for Kendrick. I have no problem with saying any of those things. I have a problem with the consistent, delusional celebration of this dude as if he's somehow aligned to a biblical worldview. He is not. He has told you he is not. He has told you in the previous album, Mr. Morale, which, by the way, this record is substantially better than Mr. Morale. He's told you repeatedly that he is pro-transformer ideology in his record to his uncle becoming a man, or his auntie's a man now. He is not on your team, Christian.
Come on, man. This is... And once upon a time, I consumed this guy's music, by the way. And the guy I'm talking about is this guy in the corner, Ruslan. That's why I even know who he is. And he's got a big channel, and he dissects, popular culture through the lens of Christianity and biblical reference and stuff like that. And he's built his platform up with that. You know what I mean? But I do think that there's a certain level of hate that comes from what people like him do. And I don't understand it, right? Because to my knowledge, God isn't here to hate. He condemns us, right? Certain things are unsightly to God, that we do. But there's repentance, right? We always talk about, he without sin should cast the first stone, right? Which none of us are actually qualified to cast the stone under that, right? But he says because he supports his auntie in who she is or who she chooses to be, then he is not on the team of Christianity. I find that to be problematic, which is why I personally have distanced myself from the Christian religion in recent years, because I used to be a low-key Bible thumper. I used to want to be a Christian rapper at one point in my journey. So I can kind of see both sides of the coin here. But it's just it doesn't sit right in my spirit. But I'm gonna let homeboy get his stuff off.
He's just not. And here he's full on rewriting the devil's story to take the power back. And let's look. And this is not just me. Go look at the genius annotations that all are saying this. Now let's go back and let's reread the beginning of the verse. Right? My present life is Kendrick Lamar are looking.
This man literally he overlooks he goes to I just rewrote the devil's story to take our power back, not noticing that the entire Kendrick Lamar, or the majority of the Kendrick Lamar verse on Reincarnated, where he raps as himself, is a prayer. It's a conversation with God. And it's a conversation with God on how to redeem himself. Where is a prayer of redemption of a fallen angel not in line biblically, right? And using the devil's story figuratively as a device in art to depict his desire to be redeemed. It's dumb. It's just a blatant like unwillingness to even accept. I guess he hates Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he continues to even entertain himself with his music or speak about it, because it's not even written for you. But then to come out and do this type of thing and consistently do it and talk about him, I think is insanity. But whatever, I'll let him continue.
Like a rapper looking at the lyrics to keep you in awe. The only factor I respected was raising the bar. My instincts set material strength to the charge. My father kicked me out of the house. I finally forgive him. Who is the father in the story? Who's the father in the story? God. Kendrick finally forgives God. This is calling evil good and good evil. This is literally satanic, fam. This is the definition of satanic. Kendrick forgives God because he finally has the epitome to understand why he was kicked out of heaven.
The fact he even misused the word epiphany with epitome is crazy. But anyway, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. And the reason why I'm even bringing this into the conversation is because I feel like that guy, Nick Adams, is basically pulling the same type of rhetoric in his tweet of boycotting the performance. Because you're just blatantly misunderstanding on purpose, right? Because you're making it seem like, my father kicked me out the house, I finally forgive him. You're making it seem like Kendrick has some sort of ultimate power to like, oh, I finally forgive you, God, and God is going to humble himself before him. That's not the context in which that was written. The context is, I've healed my heart, right? I was kicked out the house, my heart was hardened. Therefore, I've found it within myself to soften my heart and come back to God, humble, to erase my ego and pride from me looking at him with resentment. I close my eyes hoping I don't come off contentious. I'm yelling, Father, did I finally get it right? Everything I did was selfless. He's coming to God, bowing to his feet, basically, asking for forgiveness. And how can I become whole again through your perspective? But he just completely overlooked it and said, this is satanic, fam. Oh, boy. I don't know what's up with these people, man. And this dude, like I said, he has a massive channel. He educates people on how to build their channels. Like he does a lot of good things, but even within the actual content he makes on his channel, he can't even see where he is blatantly miscommunicating his own points. That's crazy. And I'm quite sure there's gonna be some people in the chat that's like, he not like us. He not like us. He not like us. Why should he have a voice and speaking on our shit? Hey, I'm not mad at you if you're saying that. I already know how folks get down. But again, I was just using that as an example because it was used in the comments to further rally people to get behind that Nick Adams guy with his boycott, who literally said, "Who's with me?" Basically saying we're collectively not going to tune in to this halftime show. It's just so many different layers. I've never seen a Super Bowl performance receive this much criticism or this much mixed reviews or this much of a polarizing perspective from the crowd. Most people don't give a damn until the kickoff. You know what I'm saying? Until the actual lights come on for the halftime show. Like Usher, yeah, it was a big deal. Rihanna was a big deal. Like we cheer about who gets chosen. But when I'm talking about like think pieces and people trying to like do what they can to deter the show from happening, or lawsuits happening the same week of the show just to try to put negative stink on his associates. Lil Wayne coming out talking about, I'm not going to be at the game, but I got a big announcement. The big announcement comes out to be that you had a feature on Jello Ball's fucking song in the Carter 6. I'm going to listen to the Carter 6 too when it comes out. But dog, that shit's not that important. The days of a huge Lil Wayne album announcement was over after the Carter 4, maybe 5. Not really 4. 5 was a moment because there was so much leading into it because he wasn't able to put out music and all that stuff. But let's be real, his best days of rapping were done before then. But to try to deter the situation from him when you just was talking about you better go kill it and you was trying to make amends and all that shit. Then you got Kanye. We're going to talk about that in a whole nother thing. Talking about some next year I'm going to be at the Super Bowl and I'm going to kill it. And nigga, no, you not going to be at the Super Bowl next year. Did you forget who makes the choices? Jay-Z ain't fucking with you. Rock Nation don't fuck with you. And if they had it fixed in their mind that they wanted to, you killed all your chances with that stupid ass rant you went on. But again, we're going to get into that later in another video. It's so many different people out here that are trying to like divert attention from what Kendrick is about to do. I don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't think it's cool. And again, we've never seen this level of contention coming for anyone else that's taking that stage. You motherfuckers are sad cases. And before I go, let's get into 47 and his impact on the game, because they're making some changes to the field and different stuff to accommodate this sorry motherfucker. That's my opinion. So they say NFL to remove "End racism" slogan at Super Bowl as Donald Trump's attendance is confirmed. So they were going to actually put "End racism" on the field. And now because Trump is coming, they will no longer be having it on the field, right? So they say the NFL is reportedly planning to remove the "End racism" message from the back of the end zones for Super Bowl after a White House official said that U.S. President Trump will be attending the match. Trump is set to become the first U.S. president to attend a Super Bowl while in office. The "End racism" slogan will be replaced with "Choose Love and It Takes All of Us," said a report from theexpress.com. The "End racism" was introduced in NFL matches in 2021. So this is literally 4 years later, and it was introduced after the murder of George Floyd, right? So this is clearly hinged upon black people, right? After his unaliving led to global outcry and a renewed focus on racist incidents in the country. It has been a part of the league matches ever since. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy said the new statements can serve as an inspiration for the country. You's a bitch, homie. He says, we felt it was an appropriate statement for what the country has collectively endured, given recent tragedies, and can serve as an inspiration. Dog, end racism would have been the perfect message, especially with everything that's been going on just in the first goddamn, how many days has it been? Less than 40 in this year? You got all these people calling ICE on folks. They trying to do mass deportations, snatching people out of work, out of school. You know, all the conversation about this DEI shit and what that, even if it doesn't necessarily impact black people as much as it's said to have, you know the reason why they're doing it is because of the intention that it was created with. But I'll continue. He says, we felt it was an appropriate statement for what the country has collectively endured, given recent tragedies, and can serve as an inspiration. They say also McCarthy did not specify which recent tragedies he was talking about, but the recent crisis in the U.S. included wildfires in Los Angeles and a plane crash near Washington, D.C. It is not clear at the moment if the End Racism slogan will return to the NFL, but the move is seen as an attempt by the league to avoid having any disputes with Trump, who recently started his second tenure as the U.S. president. The Super Bowl will be played tomorrow between the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Okay. Shortly after reclaiming office in 2025, Trump issued executive orders cutting funding for DEI programs and placing federal DEI employees on paid leave with plans for extensive layoffs. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was recently asked about the future of the Rooney Rule, which has been in force since 2002. As per the Rooney Rule, teams are required to consider minority candidates for head coach positions. Goodell called the Rooney Rule a very positive step in hiring and said the league remains committed to it. So, although they are changing the messaging on the field, Roger Goodell at this time says that they will not be changing the Rooney Rule. And we still don't see that many black head coaches in the NFL any goddamn way. But they say that they won't be changing that to make sure that, the opportunity is still there. But I can't respect motherfuckers bowing down. I understand the president, but man, y'all niggas didn't respect the previous president like that. Y'all niggas was willing to go head to head with that motherfucker every step of the way. But again, this ain't a political channel. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.